So this is a section 25.3, all about the inside layers of Earth. This is going to come into play more frequently in chapters that we have not yet gotten to. So although your book did a very, very short piece, too short, on this section, I want to make sure that it is adequate for you. So we are going to supplement what the book gave you with this lab, getting to the core of it. So the purpose of this lab is for you to draw an accurately scaled representation of Earth's interior. At the completion of this lab, you will have identified the layers of Earth's interior, calculated the measurement of each layer using a proportion, accurately used a ruler, and not just a ruler, but a metric ruler, differentiated the properties of each layer, their composition, and their density. They're all different. And summarized and organized information, and determined what was important when taking notes. And finally, you will have been able to describe Earth's interior using words and pictures. Oftentimes, labs are done with a partner or with a group of people. For the purpose of this lab, I want to make sure that each individual is definitely understanding how to do calculations properly, because we do have quite a bit of math and conversions that will take place this school year, and it's starting now with this section. And so each person will be getting their own packet. So make sure you're using your own. So the first part of the lab, and you're looking at it, is that you will be calculating measurements. Specific directions, as you can see here, have been given to you, as well as a model to assist you in calculating the measurements for each layer. You will need a calculator. If you feel like you don't need a calculator, that's fine, but you still need to show your work. So as you can see, they've done the work here, and I will make a video on this in a little bit. So your lab is based on 40-minute class. We have a 48-minute class. So you're getting an extra 8 minutes every day. And this is going to be a 3-day lab. So at the end of the day, actually I should say at the end of the week, you will have been given an extra 24 minutes. That's just a little bit more than half of a class period. So you're actually getting 3.5 days to do a 3-day lab. So your first day will be this, the introduction and doing the calculations on the sheet that I just showed you. On part 2, you will be expected from this point forward to be collecting information on each layer, its composition, color, temperature, density. There's so many things, I didn't even name them all, but that's up to you to discover. I provided a list of resources you see here. As a class, we will be watching tomorrow and the next day, and you will be taking notes from these following sources that have been highlighted: Amazing Planet, Born of Fire, How to Dig a Hole to the Other Side of the World, Standard Deviance, School Geology, Plate Tectonics, and then I have a 4th video that I have since added. So the things that I have highlighted, plus the 4th video, not listed, but it will be on Google Classroom, this will happen over the course of the following 2 days. So today will be your calculations, and then the next 2 days we will be taking notes and watching videos as a class. And then part 2 is when you're collecting information yourself. So you may use your textbook as a resource, but it should not be your only one. And of course, there's the internet. I must tell you, failure to do well on this part of the lab will make or break your grade. So watch, learn, and take notes. And as I said before, these links will all be placed on Google Classroom for you. Part 3 of your lab, which will take place this Friday, you will be creating a poster using all of the information you have learned this week. It will include calculations, things that you learned from the videos, the notes you took, perhaps some of the books that you've read, including your textbook and online research. You will use the scale 1 centimeter to 250 kilometers. If you are in Mrs. Cavelli's class, I know just this past week you have went over how to do conversions, so that shouldn't be an issue. If you have Miss Duncan, I am not as aware math-wise what they're doing, but I know that Miss Duncan would be more than happy to show you if you're not sure how to do the formula. So you will have 3 days to work individually in class on this lab. Materials, calculators, metric rulers, resources, white construction paper, coloring tools, compasses for students wanting to create a curved surface, and a pencil with an eraser. Clearly, I can provide all of those things for you. Pencils are a little sketchy this time of year, but we will do the best we can. Included in your packet is a place to take notes. So when we are watching videos together, the 2 days in class, or if you are gone, have a school trip, absent, not in class for any reason, you'll still be expected to watch these and view them at home. There's a place for you, 2 pages for you to take notes, front and back. So today is part 1. You will be working as day 1 individually on your calculations. The next 2 days we'll be working together as a class. The second day that you're working on your lab, which is day 2 only, you will be collecting information about Earth's layers. So in the spaces below, you must take notes about each layer. Your notes could be facts or descriptions, and you can make a list, like a bullet point list, or you can draw pictures. It doesn't matter to me how you want to do it. You may want to do both. If you need extra paper, you can use it. You know where it's at. Day 3 is your last independent day to work, and this is when you will be creating your poster, and I have the poster that I want you to use, so don't work ahead because you'll have to do it over again. So I will have a piece of paper that you will be given, and your directions are included in the packet. Using the information from parts 1 and 2, draw your poster. Keep in mind the following while creating your poster because this is how you will be graded. Your poster is to be a cross-section of Earth's interior showing each layer. So it must be a cross-section and it must show each layer. Think of it as a slice of Earth. Just a few different examples of how you could do a cross-section. So most of your paper should be covered. Leave very little white space. And this one, please heed my warning on that. You must be neat. If it's sloppy, you're going to lose points. Be colorful, which means you must color it using colors that you feel are appropriate based on what you have learned. So you must color using colors you feel are appropriate. Be accurate with your measurement of the layers. You must add labels. Write the scale on your poster. Details, details, details. Include as much information about each layer as possible on your poster. And above all, take pride in your work. So, how would you rate your poster? The following list will be used to determine your grade. Use this as a checklist to examine your work before turning it in. Is it neat? Have you used the correct colors? Have your layers been scaled correctly? And is it written in the proper place on your poster? Are all the layers, all of the layers labeled, and are they labeled correctly? Items included in the poster are all labeled, so a lot of detail on that one. Your notes are complete and accurate, and the work is shown for calculations. What does that mean? So take a look at number 2. Thickness of crust. The crust is thinner in some places and thicker in others, so this value is an average, 50 kilometers. So I need to be able to see on my poster the thickness of the crust will be what? Okay, you notice here it wrote about 25.5 centimeters. So obviously we cannot draw in kilometers, so we have to convert that. How do we convert kilometers to centimeters? Right here. This is your formula. Right here. This is the formula. So I need to be able to see your work and how you came up with this answer. Notice they rounded to here. And I need to see that for all of that. And you have filled up this whole front and back page, minimum, should be filled up with notes that are legible, meaning I can read them. You have organized them in some way by bullet points, headings, something. Roman numeral order, and that you have filled this sheet up as well. Okay, so if everything is in order, that is a total of 100 points. The lab itself is worth 100 points. That's a lot of points. Not to mention, I will be taking individual grades on your calculation sheet as well as your note sheet. So this is a potentially up to 150 point lab. This is something that is very simple to do. You just have to stay on task. If you miss class, you will be required to do much of this work on your own. If having a computer access to the internet is an issue, you will need to come to school. The library is open every morning at 7 a.m. and Mrs. Richards, as well as myself, Mrs. Wells, so many teachers are here first thing in the morning and can be here for you for use of the computers and technology at school as well as after school. So go ahead and turn your packet to this page. Put your first name, last name, and your hour. I will be deducting grades if you do not do that at 2 points apiece. And if you need a calculator, you may go get one from my cabinet, and I would use pencil. And I have erasers available if you need that. Get started, due at the end of the hour. If you do not complete it by the end of the hour, this will be due by tomorrow morning as I will be checking it.